After this video, you will be able to use slope-intercept form in order to graph linear inequalities. Now, we have our linear inequality 5x minus 4y is greater than negative 4. Before we can graph it, we want to get it in slope-intercept form, just as if we were solving a regular linear equation with an equal sign. So that means I need to get my y by itself. So let's subtract 5x from both sides. And we left with negative 4y greater than negative 4 minus 5x. There we go. And now I want to get this y by itself by dividing by negative 4. Everything by negative 4, divide everything by negative 4. Now, this is an inequality. When you divide by a negative, the sign always flips. You multiply or divide by a negative, the sign flips. So y is less than, my sign flips. Negative 4 over negative 4 is positive 1, 1. Negative 5 divided by negative 4, negative over negative is always positive, so I'm going to be adding 5 over 4x. And now finally just rearranging it a little bit so that we can get it in our familiar y equals mx plus b form, but in this case it's going to be y is less than mx plus b, plus 1. That's our y-intercept. And this is our linear inequality in slope-intercept form. Now we're going to take this and we're going to graph this. How do we graph it? Well, we start out the same way that we would graph it if it were a regular linear equation. We start with our y-intercept, which is 1. So we put a dot there on our y-intercept. And we know our slope is 5 over 4. So our rise is 5. Our run is 4. Rise is this way, run is going to go to the right. So if I go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I go 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to draw a point right there. But what if I wanted to draw a point going backwards? Well, I can just flip both. So I go down 5 and to the left 4, starting here. So let's go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and draw a point there. And look, the slope is the same slope, because when you make both of these negatives down and back to the left, negative over negative is positive. For the same reason that negative here divided by negative here gave us a positive. Slope is still positive. Slope is still equal to 5 over 4 because negative over negative cancels out. So let us connect our dots. But before we connect them, look, y is less than 5 over 4x plus 1. So if this were our line, y is going to be any value that is less than this line. So that's beneath this line. So anything beneath this line we shade in, but the line has to be a dotted line. And the reason why is because there we go, dotted line. Because y can't be on the line. It does not include the line because y is less than 5 over 4x plus 1. So is anything less than what's on this line. So anything up to this line but not including what's on the line. So these points are not on the line because they're not less than 5 over 4x plus 1. For example, let's say y is equal to 1, right? Well, if x were 0, y would be equal to 1, but y would not be. But here it says y has to be less than 1. So if we have y equals 1, y is going to be less than 1. So we shade in anything beneath the line if it's less than. Now, what if we were graphing a different linear equation? What if we were graphing y is greater than 5 over 4x plus 1? What if we were graphing this line? Well, then we would shade in everything above. So this is y is greater than 5 over 4x plus 1. Now, what if we were saying y is greater than or equal to 5 over 4x plus 1? So now, if it's greater than or equal to 5 over 4x plus 1, now we know that it includes the points on the line. Therefore, we can now shade in the line, make this a solid line. Make it a solid line. And if y is greater than or equal to 5 over 4x plus 1, we shade in anything above the line, anything greater than the line, including the line, because y is greater than or equal to. Same thing for if y is less than or equal to 5 over 4x plus 1. We have to shade in anything less than that line, but now we can make this a solid line because it can include points on the line. So if it's just less than, then dotted line. It does not include a point on the line. If it's less than or equal to, solid line. And if it's less than any, then you have to shade in underneath the line. Greater than, shade in above the line. Greater than or equal to, shade in above the line and make it a solid line.